Hello everyone, welcome to Skull RC. Today we're going to talk to you about RC tires and how to properly clean them. There's a misconception that you really don't need to clean tires, but in the grand scheme of things, there's a lot of reasons why you do need to. The problem is there's a lot of people that don't clean them correctly, and as a result of that, they end up ruining not necessarily the tire, but they ruin the foams inside of the tires, especially if you start talking about any of the racing tires, buggy tires, short course, etc. So this video today, we're going to focus on a variety of tires. We have a whole assortment here because they all are unique. One of the things, like I pointed out at the beginning, that we have to be cognizant of with tires, and if you look at the treads here, there's a lot of people that say they never clean their tires, and that's, you know, to each their own. But if you want to have a rig that is high performing, when you start looking at the tread of the tire, you want the most amount of tread on the ground as possible, whether you're on dirt, whether you're on pavement or carpet, what have you. So it is important to keep your tires clean. So what we're going to do is I'm going to shut the video off here in a second, and we're going to go over to our sink. I want to forewarn you, we use this sink for a lot of different things, and it's an absolute mess from all the paint and everything else. But I want to show you how we clean them, and I'm going to clean all these tires because they're all different and they're all unique, and there's different ways of cleaning each one. All right. Okay, everybody, we're back. Like I said, we're here at our wonderful clean utility sink. I will tell you though that this was the best investment that I made, because my wife was tired of us ruining her, well, not ruining, but destroying her kitchen sink with all of my RC stuff. So that said, let's go ahead and get moving. There's some things I want to point out on tires here, and particularly with some of the racing tires, like these are short course racing tires. You have to be really careful. If you look in here, I'm not sure if you can see that. There's a little hole right there, and that will allow water in. You want to make sure that you don't get water in that. Same way with this tire. This is another rock crawler tire, and again, it has holes in it. And the reason you don't want water inside of these is because it will ruin the foam that's inside the tire. You won't ruin the tire itself, but what you will ruin is the foam inside the tire. So when you're cleaning these, you have to be careful and diligent that you don't get water in those. All right. So what we do on all of our vehicles, even if they're muddy, if they're racing vehicles, you name it, is we take all of them, we put them down in our sink, just like this. These are all the same tires we had over there. Some of these are clean, some of them, sorry about that, some of them aren't very clean. But so we start the water, and basically what I do here is, if there's a lot of mud or something on any of them, I want to get that mud out. And there's a couple of ways of doing it. I actually have a number of different brushes. I have this one, which, believe it or not, I use almost all the time. This is like the best brush that I found. There's some bigger ones. I have a bigger one for, you know, even tires this big. But I got to be honest with you, this one does the majority of the work 80% of the time. For the little jobs, I use this. It's just a toothbrush. You know, I think everybody has extra toothbrushes laying around their house. These are really good, especially when you're working with some of the smaller tires back in these areas right in here, you know, for scrubbing. So again, what we do is we start, you know, just rinsing them off. Basically what we're doing here at the get-go is we're just getting the big stuff off. All right? Real simple, real fast. Go through them all. We're getting them wet, and I'm showing you why here in a minute. All right, this was one of our dirtier ones. Now these are the ones with the holes in them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my fingers on them as I rinse them off, run them through the water, okay? And when you're working with a whole variety of tires like this, you should probably keep the ones that are that you have to cover the holes separate, just so you don't forget about them and then mix them up. So then, and this is the way I do it. You can do it any way you want, and you can use any cleaner you want. I have found over the years, and I've cleaned many tires, is I use Simple Green. It's fairly cheap and you can get it anywhere. I have actually found that the best way to buy it is not just buying it individually like this at your grocery store or the hardware store, but buying it in the 1 gallon jugs. It's a lot cheaper and it goes a lot farther. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm spraying Simple Green all the way around them. Even our ones with the holes in them. Again, I'm making sure that I'm not getting water or anything in those holes. All right, so then I let those sit for a while. If they're really dirty, I'll let these sit for 30 minutes or more with that Simple Green on it, and then I come back and I scrub it real good inside and out. Now these weren't real dirty, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it and bore you with all these, because I know you probably have better things to do than watch a guy clean 20 tires. But again, when you're dealing with these types of tires that I'm holding right now, the ones that have the treads, these are the ones you want to focus on, again, so that you get maximum tire on the ground. Especially if you start getting into racing. This video is more of a 101 class for those folks that are new to the hobby that want to learn. You guys that have been around a while, this is probably second nature for you, and I won't bore you with the details. So then, after we get all these clean, this was just a lot of dust. Again, that toothbrush works really good in some of these tighter areas. Get in there real good. All right. And these are our foam ones. Again, hold your holes. And you can use your hands as well on some of these treads. You can tell by listening to them when the tires are soft and clean, they make that sound. Okay. And last one here, guys, one of the racing tires. I've got my finger over the hole, just so you know. Okay. All right. So our next step is we're going to let these dry for just a couple minutes, and then we're going to blow dry or hit them with the air compressor real quick. Stand by. Okay everyone, welcome back. Just so you know, instead of boring you guys with using the air compressor and blowing all these tires off, I just did that. But it's pretty simple, and quite frankly, if you don't have a compressor, let them air dry. If you have the time, just let them air dry. Now, the way we treat all of our tires is there's actually two different things that we use, and one we use more than the other just because of a cost standpoint, but they both are wonderful. One is called the Blaster. Blaster works great. It's a great product. The problem is it's a little expensive. I think it's like $5 or $6 at the local hardware store. And then the one that we use a lot and all the time is WD-40. WD-40, as you're going to find as you get into this hobby, is really a great product. It has so many uses. Some people don't like using the WD-40 because they think it collects dust, and they use Blaster. I'll be honest with you, for all the stuff that we do, the WD-40 works great in a lot of different settings, and it also helps with the rust on various things on your RC vehicles. So that said, so our tires now, we've washed them, we've cleaned them, and we want to, you know, make them look like brand new. So what we do, and normally I don't have the straw on here, but I take it, just get a little bit of WD on there, and don't be afraid to get your hands dirty here. Just rub that stuff in there real good, right? Just rub it in nice and all over, all right? Don't be afraid that you're going to use too much, because you won't. And then you take a tire, or I'm sorry, a rag, and you just wipe them off. All right, you wipe it off, make sure you're getting the wheels real good, get that WD out of there, wipe the back of the tire, you know. And again, I'm doing this real fast because I don't want to bore you guys with all the details, and I'm not going to do all these tires to save you some time, but you do them all the same way. All right, so if you look at that, if you saw the tire before and you saw it now, I mean, look at how much better it looks. There's here, I'll show you another one of his sister tires that goes with the same vehicle, and you can tell the difference. Look at how much better that looks, right? So again, pretty simple. Anybody can do it. It's a great tool, great mechanism. So I want all you guys to know that we're just starting this YouTube channel up because we want to gear it for those people that are really, you know, new to the hobby, more of your RC 101 folks. And the reason being is we learned a lot in the process, and had we had, you know, a place to go that could help us and guide us, we could have saved hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in a lot of different areas. So some of the videos that we're going to be doing, like our next video, we're going to be doing the tools that every beginner should have. Extremely important. But the interesting piece to that is you're going to find some people that think you need to buy, you know, hundreds of dollars worth of tools, when in reality you really don't. There's a handful of basic tools that you need, and then if you really start to get into the habit, that's when you start investing in better tools, more tools, specific tools, and tools that are more detailed for the hobby, right? So that'll be our next video. The one after that, we're looking at how to properly clean your RC vehicle. And when we talk about properly cleaning it, we're not just going to spray it off with a garden hose and throw a little WD-40 on the tires. We're actually going to take it down and show you how to clean the plastics, how to protect the electronics, etc. It'll be fairly in-depth, but it'll be a great learning experience for you guys. And again, it'll be getting back to my comment about saving you money. If you don't know what you're doing and you get water in your electronics, you could very easily ruin, you know, $100 to $150 worth of electronics just because you inadvertently don't know what you're doing. And that's what we're trying to avoid. Then we're going to talk some of the other videos. We're going to talk about how to paint your RC bodies. That'll be a fun one. Then we're going to talk about chargers and proper charging methods. Again, that's an important one because you wouldn't believe the amount of money that people waste because they don't charge their batteries correctly, or they just don't know the ins and outs of them. And that video will help you. It'll be a 101 class that will help you guys getting into the hobby. Then we're going to talk about some of the basic type stuff, you know, how to glue tires, how to rebuild your shocks, how to align your spur and pinion. And then we're going to, maybe if we can, we're going to try to do an unboxing of a surprise vehicle and go through that with you, because that'll be kind of fun. So If you have any questions or comments, please let us know. We're here to help you. We've been doing this for many, many years, and we love the hobby, and we want to share our experiences with you. Please make sure that you like and subscribe below. And thanks for visiting Skull RC. We'll see you in the future.